For the first time, we are hearing from the mother of Brendan Deppa. The autistic student was charged as an adult with aggravated battery for attacking a Flagler County school teacher's assistant. That attack happened in February, and Brendan could face up to 30 years in prison.
Tonight, West 2's Gil Pascal Brown sat down exclusively with his mother, who wanted to talk about her son and how she says the school system failed him.
My worst nightmare is that my son's going to be killed in prison.
Leanne Deppa's son, Brendan, is in jail accused of knocking out a teacher's assistant, his paraprofessional, Joe Nadich, back in February. Brendan Deppa was a special needs student at Matanzas High School in Flagler County. He was 17 years old when this video showed him shoving, punching, and kicking her.
I just, want people to see Brendan for something other than what that video showed. That video was horrible, and that was a horrible thing that he did. But that's not all of Brendan. Brendan is a sweet kid who loves God.
West 2 News spoke exclusively with Brendan's mother, Leanne. Brendan came into her life through foster care when he was 5 months old. The Deppas adopted him when he was 2. She says he always struggled at a young age, but loves people. Brendan is diagnosed with autism.
He has ADHD, oppositional defiant disorder, reactive explosive disorder.
Leanne homeschooled Brendan until he was 14 years old. He later received more care in an intensive behavior group home.
He's not a thug that was just out there and didn't have parents who cared and didn't have, but it was the system that failed him. It was that he was placed in public school, and that once he was in there, the IEP was not followed. People who should have known better than to use his Nintendo Switch, which was his trigger, as a motivator.
An IEP is an individualized education program under federal law that is developed for each public school student who needs special education. Jean Lopes has been a special education teacher for 30 years.
There's a reason that this IEP specifically addressed Brendan not having these devices and explicitly talked about his reaction, that the reaction he would have or has had in the past to having this removed from.
Brendan's IEP says electronics are a precursor to more severe behaviors.
Had the school followed his IEP, we would not be here now.
Investigators say when the teacher's aide took Brendan's video game away, he chased after her into the hallway and, according to the report, pushed the victim so hard it took her off her feet in the air 5 to 6 feet, knocking her unconscious.
And I am so sorry for what happened to her, that no one deserves to have that happen.
Could it have been avoided?
Yes. It clearly, as stated in his IEP, he should not have had access to an electronic device at school.
Brendan will be sentenced in January after pleading no contest to aggravated battery.
It is a living nightmare.
Leanne Deppa says she was also concerned that strategies to de-escalate behaviors listed here in his IEP weren't followed either. Now, we reached out to Flagler County Public Schools. A spokesperson says we won't be able to comment on her allegations because of the possibility of legal proceedings. We specifically asked about her statement that Brandon's IEP was not followed. They told us we are not permitted to offer any comment surrounding an individual student due to the protections afforded them through the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. We also reached out to Joe Nadich, the paraprofessional who was attacked, but we have not heard back yet. Back to you.